children come along, while the moon is shining bright. Get on board and down the river we'll go. We're gonna raise a ruckus tonight. While the moon is shining bright, get on board and down the river we'll go. We're gonna raise a ruckus tonight. Sing it, Sam.
Well, Jenny and Sambo going to the barn.
Raise a ruckus tonight.
Jenny broke a fiddle over Sambo's arm.
Raise a ruckus tonight.
Well, it wasn't too long till Sambo died.
Raise a ruckus tonight.
Jenny made a fiddle out of Sambo's hide.
Raise a ruckus tonight. We're gonna come along, little children come along, while the moon is shining bright. Get on board and down the river we'll go. We're gonna raise a ruckus tonight. Let it fall.
Across the field,
raise a ruckus tonight.
An old black snake bit me on the heel.
Raise a ruckus tonight.
Well, I turned around to do my best.
Raise a ruckus tonight.
Fell right into a hornet's nest.
Raise a ruckus tonight. Come along, little children, come along, while the moon is shining bright. We get on board and down the river we'll go. We're gonna raise a ruckus tonight.
Well, welcome to Route 60 Saturday night. We're so glad that you could come and help raise a ruckus tonight. We've got a great show ready for you tonight. And I was also thinking about the charity that you've helped us raise money for. Randy Yohe, you are my co-host tonight. So glad to have you here too.
Michelle Lewis, I'm thrilled to be here as well. And we're going to raise a ruckus tonight. We've got some great acts coming up, and you can join us. I'm blocking the picture right here. But we got Facebook Live going. We're going to re-show this on our website. So it's just like an old-fashioned radio show done on social media, if that makes any sense. But yes, as Michelle said, we've had some great charities each month that we have raised money for. And we got a little letter back from one of them, didn't we, Michelle?
Yes. Our first month, we raised money for Facing Hunger Food Bank. And they wrote us back to say, many thanks to all you for this generous support. Not only does your gift provide an additional 2,625 meals to our distributions, it also provides hope to all those in need who are needing those meals. So thank you, everyone that came to the September show.
Tonight's charity is the Huntington City Mission.
And I know that we've got some empty seats still available for you. So this is Facebook Live. That means this is happening live tonight, Saturday, November the 18th, from 7 to 8:30. So come on down and help us raise a ruckus tonight. We've got some wonderful acts tonight. Two great gentlemen, singer-songwriters. And Randy, the first act is Chet Lowther.
And then coming up after that would be Doug Imbrogno. But right now, let's hear from our house band. The one and only 1937 Blood. We're talking about Paul and Sam and Randy and Michelle and Doug and Charlie, the 1937 Blood.
Well, the weather out there, we ought to do this one. You got me slipping, you got me sliding, you got me slip, slide, slip any way you wanna let me go. Lord, Lord, Lord. You got me doing what you want to, honey, why you wanna let me go? You got me running, you got me hiding, you got me run, hide, run any way you wanna let me go. Lord, Lord, Lord. You got me run, hide, run anywhere you wanna let me go. Lord, Lord, Lord. You got me doing what you want to, honey, why you wanna let me go? You got me slipping, you got me sliding, you got me slip, slide, slip anywhere you wanna let me go. Lord, Lord, Lord. You got me do what you want to, honey, why you wanna let me go? Take it home, George. You got me do what you want to, honey, why you wanna let me go?
That's flood music, folks. And we'd be remiss if we didn't say thank you. We had to quit blocking that. Thank you, Dave. We knew he was good for something else. We'd be remiss if we didn't thank the owner here of Route 60 Music, Paul Calicote, for all the hard work that he does to put all this together, to book these bands, to set this up. For the love of music and the kindness of his heart. Well, how about our first guest, Michelle? Let's talk a little bit about a young man that's here. Chet Lowther has written and performed his songs throughout the Mid-Atlantic region for more than a decade. In that time, his awards have included first place in the Virginia Organization of Composers and Lyricists Songwriting Competition.
He's a Lewis County native, Randy, and he's also performed in well-known venues throughout the United States and in Europe, including the Bluebird Cafe, Nashville, Tennessee, and the Sports Palace in Geneva, Switzerland. While closer to home, he's played at the Clay Center in Charleston as part of the Woody Holly concert series.
From the Bluebird to Switzerland, I gotta love it. Besides his original compositions, he also performs an eclectic and a compelling mix of cover material in the rock, folk, blues, and pop genres. Wildcat Road, his first CD, garnered excellent reviews. He's just released his second self-titled CD. Chet is also a visual artist.
We're going to learn more about the man behind the music and the art, but right now let's hear some songs from him. Chet Lowther, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, sirree.
Thank you. Well, this first song is a song about living for the moment. It lasts about 3 minutes, so maybe it defeats the purpose. I'm not sure. Never could sit still, leave well enough alone, searching for the next big thrill. Stumbling towards home, full of the best intentions, lots of mixed results, promising invention never quite takes off. Good for most and nothing, worth keeping round for laughs. Good for the moment, for the moment's all we have. I never counted on you, I couldn't see it coming, but it shot straight through. You hit the ground running and it's fragile as tomorrow, stronger than the past. But I've made mistakes before, sure they haven't made my last. Good for most or nothing, worth keeping around for laughs. Good for the moment's all we have. We could talk about forever, love is hard enough, and there's a moment to treasure waiting for us. Say there's genius in simplicity, well I hope that it's true. I can't find 3 words to say to you, but they bloom in my mind, strong and young, die on the vine, at the tip of my tongue. I won't sing other words to please you, you deserve much more than that. Let's not waste the moment, for the moment's all we have. The moment's all we have. Thank you. New strings today. Purchased here at Route 60 Music, by the way. So this next song is the song I wrote about my dad. It's called Chief. That was his nickname, and I don't know why. Said you gotta be dumb to be tough. He always knew he'd said enough. Then he smiled at when some lose, some smile. Brown eyes shining like a child. Hardest thing I ever wrote, every word, every note, just a simple song about my dad, the finest friend I ever had. At Grandma's smile, Grandpa's laugh, my mama was his better half. Like every half had some hope, a restless mind, a wandering soul. Hardest thing I ever wrote, every word, every note, just a simple song about my old man, the finest friend ever had. He left some good, he left some bad, but he left no doubt who was my dad. I never knew why they called him Chief, but he wore it well, I do believe. No, I never knew why they called him Chief, but he wore it well, I do believe. The finest thing I ever wrote, every word, every note, it's a simple song about my old man, the finest friend I ever had, finest friend I ever had. Thank you. There's a love is more than just a souvenir you put up on a shelf and admire once a year. Don't confuse it with the other loves you know. Take this love, call it home, and it dances to the rhythm of your dreams, and it reaches across the ocean, wherever you may be. It will walk beside you, no matter where you roam. If you take this love, call it home. This love will surprise you, take your world by storm. Wrap its arms around you, keep you safe and warm. Lay it by your pillow, close your eyes and know it will not consume you, even though it keeps on growing. It dances to the rhythm of your dreams, and it reaches across the ocean, wherever you may be. It will walk beside you, no matter where you roam. If you take this love, call it home. Well, this love knows no condition, and this love knows no regret. It dances on the wire, it hasn't looked down yet. Shout it to the heavens, chisel it in stone. Take this love, call it home. Shout it to the heavens, chisel it in stone. Take this love, call it home. Take this love, call it home. Take this love, call it home. Thank you.
Yes, sirree. Singer-songwriter Chet Lowther. Nice job. How'd you get started in writing and performing?
Well, kind of. I mean, I started writing. I wrote a few songs at college, and then kind of put it down for a long time, and then you know, had a big breakup and started writing again. And just stumbled into it, basically. You know.
Because you started as an artist. You went to school, and were you on the path as an artist through learning, or?
Yeah, I mean, I studied art in school, and I still do art, and had no idea that I would do anything with music.
But you remember coming up, being raised by your family here, and your mom do some music in the house?
Yeah, my mom plays a little bit. She plays. Her and her family kind of do some old time kind of gospel sort of things together. And so I grew up listening to music, and I remember taking one of those aptitude tests in high school, and came back, and it was like, at the time I didn't play anything and didn't think I ever would. It was like, came back and music was number one and art was number two. And I thought, this thing's insane. I can't play a note.
What's this aptitude test thinking?
But it turned out to be pretty accurate.
Well, you've won some awards, competitions. That's got to be, kind of boost the ego a little bit.
Exciting.
Confirming, affirming.
Yeah, I guess so. It's better than losing. It doesn't amount to much in the grand scheme of things, but it's nice.
Where have you been playing recently? Where have you played lately?
I play in Charleston some, and I don't play that much anymore. Kind of sporadic, a couple times a month. Maybe.
Well, we're glad you're sporadic in here.
I am too.
But you have a new CD out, is that right?
It's relatively new.
Well, the latest one.
It's newer than my old one.
Well, see, that's the thing. I like to sing, and these boys make me sound really great when they back me up, and I've never been able to write a song. So to think about what goes into inspiring you and getting a melody in your head and the chorus, the bridge, the lyrics. Do you wake up sometimes just with an idea? Does it strike you in the middle of the day? How does it work for you?
Well, I used to write all the time when I would be riding my motorcycle, because it's quiet, I mean, other than the sound of the
that's quiet.
It's like, I'll do a lot of writing when I would be on the road, and I would carry at that time, a little pocket tape recorder with a little cassette, and, because you can't always have pen and paper with you. But I don't know, it's kind of, when I write something, it usually just kind of comes all at once, or it doesn't come at all, usually.
Yeah, because you could be like, okay, I'm ready for the next big tune here. Come on, inspiration, hit me.
Yeah, I'm not as disciplined as I should be. I know people who write every day, but I don't.
Well, Randy, I'm wondering where people might be able to see him play next.
That's a good question. It's what I usually ask beforehand, and I didn't this time. So, boom. Where are you playing next at, Chet?
I don't know.
I didn't have a feeling that I was going to
need
get
some
the answer.
gigs. Actually, Tuesday I'll be at the Empty Glass in Charleston.
There we go. Great place to go. He needs some gigs out there in Facebook land. This man right here.
For a e-council benefit. So
all right, that sounds good. Well, we're thrilled to you here. How about a couple more tunes?
Sure.
Chet Lowther, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, I've never played this song. I mean, never. I've played it, but only on my couch. I've never played it live, so I saved it close to the end of my set in case everybody decided to leave. Gonna build a wall to keep the bad guys out. Gonna build it high, gonna build it stout. Gonna paint it gold, red, white, and blue. Believe me, brother, it's gonna be huge. then we'll build more walls to keep the bad guys in. Gotta do their time, pay for their sins, for good measure, pay for ours too. They're like animals, not like me and you. Bricks and mortar, steel and stone, can't divide blood and bone. So build your wall, you foolish clown. 'Cause blood and bone gonna tear it down. Keep building walls between the rich and poor, so those who have can have a whole lot more, and those who don't are left in the cold. Got no shame, got no soul, bricks and mortar, steel and stone, can't divide blood and bone. So build your walls, you foolish clowns. 'Cause blood and bone gonna tear it down. You got no shame, you got no soul, you got no clue, 'cause you don't know the bricks and mortar, steel and stone, can't divide blood and bone. Build your walls, you foolish clown. With blood and bone, tear it down. Why do we build walls between each other? We got different gods, but you're still my brother. So tear down those walls, we all share one home, one and the same, just blood and bone, and bricks and mortar, steel and stone, can't divide blood and bone. Tear down your walls, we all share one home, brother, you and I, just blood and bone. Brother, you and I, just blood and bone. We'll survive, blood and bone. Thank you. Well, Doug Imbrogno, who'll be up later, he has a band called Brothers and Sisters, and they keep threatening to cover this song. He said they're 80-some% ready, which is more ready than I've ever been to play it. So I'm going to mess it up just so they'll know it's okay. This is a song. This is a song called "The Ride." It's about enjoying the ride of life without crushing everybody in your pathway. Thanks for having me. See, I already messed it up. Pearly whites are grinding, the perfect tan is growing pale. Climbing up the ladder, but it's all to no avail. You've dotted every I, crossed each and every T. Everything a man could want, not the one thing that you need. We've got a one-way ticket from the cradle to the grave, and your life is measured by the lives touch along the way, and it's just a slow suicide if you can't enjoy the ride. You tear down man and Mother Nature for power and greed. Lenin wasn't lying, love is all you need. So lend a helping hand to your sisters and your brothers. We're put up on this earth to look after one another. You got a death grip on the wheel, you've been shackled by your pride. Lighten up, enjoy the ride. We've got a one-way ticket from the cradle to the grave, and your life is measured by the life touch along the way, and it's just a slow suicide if you can't enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride, it's quicker than you think. It passes for your eyes before you have a chance to blink. And at the end of your journey, at the end of your days, well, it's not what you take with you or what you give away. We've got a one-way ticket from the cradle to the grave, and your life is measured by the life touch along the way, and it's just a slow suicide if you can't enjoy the ride. It's just a slow suicide. Might as well enjoy the ride.
Thank you. Yes, sirree. Music from the heart and the soul singer-songwriter Chet Lowther, ladies and gentlemen. You can see him next Tuesday at the Empty Glass.
So you say you're going to be there Tuesday.
Tuesday.
And that is November 21st. Is that correct?
That is cool.
I believe
All right.
so.
And can people get your CD online or
I have a few copies here.
here? Okay. So I know some people might do some holiday shopping before they leave tonight.
Or they can check me out on Chet Lowther Music at Facebook.
So Chet Lowther Music at Facebook. Yeah.
Chet Lowther Music at Facebook, or Chet Lowther Art at if you want to check out my artwork. So thanks a lot, folks.
Thank you, Chet.
Everybody having a good time here, Route 60 Saturday night? Yes, sirree, Bob. I'm told to behave myself, but this band won't do it. Let's hear some more from our house band, the 1937 Flood.
I am a poor, wayfaring stranger, traveling through this world of woe. Yet there's no sickness, toil, or danger in that bright world to which I go. Going there to see my father. Going there, no more to run. I'm only going
is rough and steep, yet beauty steals like just before me, where God's redeemed their vigils keep. Going there to see my mother. She said she'd meet me when I come. I'm only going over Jordan. I'm only going.
My lips, I want to lose them. I'll take my arms, you know I'll never use them. Your goodbye left me with eyes that cry. How can I go on, dear, without you? You took the part that once was my heart, so why not take all of me? My lips, 'cause I want to lose them. Oh, take my arms, you know I'll never use them. Your goodbye left me with eyes that cry. How can I go on, dear, without you? Took the
1937 flood.
Well, you know, the 1937 flood would not be complete without one of our mainstays, one of the folks that we really count on, and that is Mr. Dave Peyton. He started playing with the group in around 1973. And Dave, we've been missing you lately. I know that you've had trouble being able to play your auto harp.
Yes, that's correct.
And we miss you a lot, but we still like reading your work in the paper, the Herald Dispatch, and we like you being here to be our storyteller. Now, last week I made a mistake, and I cut you off before you got to your punchline, and I'm not going to do that this week.
I didn't have a punchline. I'm glad you cut me off. I could go out and say, well, she cut me off.
But Dave, you are really, really a great storyteller. You have met some people over the years, and you've had some experiences, I must say. So what'd you bring for us this week?
Frank George.
Oh my gosh, Frank George.
He died last week, and we're going to miss him. How many, I can't see anything, but I like to know, how many people have ever heard Frank George play the fiddle?
Yeah.
Well, none of you. You missed something. You really did miss something. Frank George was a fiddler. Probably the best old-time fiddler ever in West Virginia. If you want to hear him, you can go to YouTube and type Frank George fiddler. Interesting, right? And you'll come up with 10 or 12 songs that he did for YouTube. Frank was 88 years old last week. When he died last week. He was 88 or 89. I don't know how old he was. He left his wife Jane, and the word started spreading about him. I thought I knew Frank because I had known him probably for the 50 years that he'd been playing fiddle. But I didn't really know him until I did some research. Frank liked people to think that he was illiterate, but a musical genius. And when you saw him after 10 minutes, you knew that he wasn't living in the 21st century, or maybe even the 20th century. He seemed to be living in the 19th century, and he enjoyed that. And when he first appeared with his fiddle about 50 years ago, he appeared at the West Virginia State Folk Festival up at Glenville. And Max Samples was the director at the time. And Frank walked in, and his scraggly beard and his fiddle, and came up to Mac and said, I want to play in the fiddle contest. And Mac handed him a piece of paper and said, well, you got to sign up for it. And he said, I can't read and write. And Max Samples fell for it and signed him in. Well, it wasn't quite the way that Frank was, as a matter of fact. Let me get over here to give you some background. Frank was born in Mercer County in 1928 to a nurse and a carpenter. After 10 years of public school, he enrolled in Greenbrier Military School, of all things, and graduated with honors, and was one of the members of the really impressive military school rifle team, among other things. After graduating from the Greenbrier Military School, he went home and was drafted into the Army, where he served for 2 years in the Army, probably around either just prior to or during World War II. During that time, according to what I found about him, he was the only bagpiper in the 4th Infantry Division. I got to say something about him being a piper. Not only did he play fiddle, but he played the bagpipes. And when he played the fiddle, he looked like a typical 18th century West Virginian. When he played the bagpipes, he got dressed up in bagpipe stuff, in the skirt and all that stuff. My son, David Peyton Jr., thought that he was two people. He thought the one who played the fiddle was Frank, and the one that played the bagpipes was George. So he called Frank. He never said Frank. He always said Frank and George because he thought that they were twins somehow. You could name any traditional mountain fiddle tune, and as a matter of fact, Frank could play it. As a matter of fact, the late Alan Jabbour, who was a well-known folk specialist, the well-known folk specialist with Library of Congress, said that Frank was, quote, one of the most influential musicians of the last half century when it came to Appalachian music. He learned his music from a friend of his father's who was a carpenter and a fiddle player. And the interesting thing about Frank is he didn't change his fiddle playing at all. He only played one kind of fiddle, and that was 18th century fiddle that this man knew. And the man who taught him the fiddle had probably never heard of radio, so was not affected by any radio music or anything else. And Frank never changed his fiddle playing. He was an 18th century fiddle player. And as a matter of fact, it was a light, lilting style that nobody has anymore, because you just can't, once you may have learned some tunes from Frank, but once you listen to, if you listen to one of the modern fiddle players, it affects you. And so, that's just the way it is, but Frank was never affected. Frank's wife was Jane. Poor Jane. Poor Jane. She had to put up with so much because 18th century people that Frank lived the life of said bad mouths to their wives all the time, and he did that to Jane. I'll never forget the time that he came up to me. I think Charlie remembers this. He came up to me, running up to me at one of the festivals and said, Dave, bad news, Jane's here. And then the other time that he was playing, I think at the Arts and Crafts Fair, right between fiddle songs, Jane came by and said, Frank, I'm going over to the refreshment stand. You want anything? Out very loudly said, do they have any liquor? That's the way Frank was. He never, ever let on that he went to court after getting out of the Army. He came to Concord College in Bluefield and graduated there with a degree in biology. I don't know how many people knew that. I didn't know it until I started, To me, he was just the same old Frank George who played the fiddle, and maybe I couldn't determine. I think he probably dipped snuff, but I couldn't figure that out. But he looked like he was dipping snuff, and if he didn't, he ought to have dipped snuff because that's the kind of person he was. Frank was amazing. The only time that I ever knew that he was interested in anything beyond 1900 was he was a good friend of my son, and at folk festivals, Davy sought him out, and he sought Davy out. And the biggest topic of discussion they had was Mad Magazine. Did you know that, Charlie? Mad Magazine. The man loved Mad Magazine. And the other thing that I knew is he watched me on I was on a show on public television 15 or so years ago where we discussed the latest news from West Virginia. And every time after that show came on, Frank would see me, he would come up and would talk about West Virginia government. He would talk about the latest news, and I thought, that's odd for this man. I don't understand. I can't believe that he did that. Well, he did. He was up to date with everything. Loved to talk about what was going on in Charleston, whatever. But I still didn't know that he graduated with a biology degree. I could go on and tell you stories about him, but he, like I say, he was one of a kind. Jesse Stewart, the late Jesse Stewart, would have called him an original because he was, for as far as anybody knew, he was from the old days, and that's what Jesse Stewart wrote about. If Jesse had known, he probably would have written about him. But the fact is, after I thought about it, after I learned about him, I thought, was he really an original? He was acting an original, but he did it because he wanted people to know what the old West Virginians were like, I think. And there's one last story that I got to tell you, which is one of the funniest that I ever knew about Frank. This happened up at Crooked Creek because he and Jenny Wilson, a banjo picker that both of us knew. I'm going to talk about Jenny next month. But he was spending a few days with Jenny because he was learning the tunes that she knew, and they were talking about folk festivals and all. By the way, I want to tell you that he not only played every folk festival in West Virginia, he played most folk festivals on the West Coast. They would bring him out there to play music. California, Oregon, Washington. And then he took 2 or 3 trips overseas to England and Scotland and Wales. I think he bypassed England because, like most West Virginians, he didn't like English people very well. But he was known nationally and internationally, which I think is to our credit. But here was Frank. He was, at that particular time, he was heavily into bagpipe music again. He struck up a love affair with the bagpipes. And the way you, if you're a true bagpiper, you would get up with the sun, even before the sun, and you would put on your kilt and your Scottish stuff, and you would go out and march up and down to greet the dawn with bagpipe music. Well, Aunt Jenny lived on Crooked Creek, which is about as far away from civilization as you can get, especially in Logan County. So there he was. She told me this story. Frank did. He got up. Jenny said he got up before I did, and I wasn't about to get up that early. Frank got up, put his got his bagpipe, and put his Scottish clothes on, and went out on the road there, on Hard Road on Crooked Creek. Started moving back and forth, playing the bagpipe. And she said it wasn't 10 minutes until she heard the sirens. Somebody called the police on him. And she had to go out. She had to go out and tell the police, "That's okay. He's mine. He's a little weird, but he's a friend of mine." And they let him go. She said, "I believe if I hadn't done that, they would have arrested him, taken him into jail." We're going to miss Frank. West Virginia is going to miss Frank. And as I say in my column that I wrote for Sunday, that there ought to be a Frank George Day in West Virginia. As a matter of fact, I think someday when people come to the realization of how important he was to us as a fiddler and as a reenactor of old-time people, it may just happen. Thank you.
That's Brother Dave Peyton, our storyteller, West Virginia native, and perhaps he's been a newspaper columnist whose works appeared in the Charleston Daily Mail and the Huntington Herald-Dispatch. He's been a frequent commentator on West Virginia Public Television, and Dave was also a member of the 1937 flood. Dave Peyton, ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
Oh, have you seen my dear companion? She was all this world to me. Now she's gone to some fair country. Say she cares no more for me. You remember that day last summer? The air was warm, the sky was blue. All the birds were singing sweet. Day I fell in love with you. Play it, Doug. I will go down to the cool dark water. Set me down right there and weave it all. I was a sparrow flying, I'd fly some high and lonesome place, join those little birds in their crying, remember you and your dear face. Oh, have you seen my dear companion? Have you seen my dear companion? Have you seen my dear companion? She was all this world to me. Michelle here. Welcome to the job.
I go out walking after midnight, out in the moonlight, just like we used to do. I'm always walking after midnight, searching for you. I walk for miles along the highway, well, it's just my way of saying I love you. I'm always walking after midnight, searching for you. I stopped to see a weeping willow crying on his pillow. Maybe he's crying for me. And as the skies turn gloomy, night winds whisper to me, I'm lonesome as I can be. I go out walking after midnight, out in the starlight, just hoping you may be somewhere. I'm walking after midnight, searching for me.
One time, girls.
After midnight, searching for me.
Woo! Doug Chapin, Paul Martin on solos. Thank you.
Fantastic. And we're getting all kinds of notes from all of our friends out here in Facebook land. We want to thank you for watching and joining us. Nellie Dawson Howard wrote in and said, this is nice music.
Oh, thank you.
This is nice. And Greg Behaler said, sounds great, and happy Thanksgiving, everybody at Route 60. So thank you, Greg, and happy Thanksgiving to you as well. So we're just going to move it right along here because we've got another guest artist. And ladies and gentlemen, Doug Imbrogno is a singer-songwriter based in Barboursville, West Virginia, right here. He sings and plays guitar with the four-part harmony electric folk quartet, the Brother Sisters. while also performing his original songs and select cover tunes as a solo performer.
Now, his first CD, St. Stephen's Dream, featured some of West Virginia's most notable artists as guest performers, and the brother-sisters' debut CD, You Can't Be Lost, and that's available on cdbaby.com, includes a variety of his original compositions with songs ranging from introspective ballads to up-tempo rockers to a song from a space opera.
A space opera. I'm going to have to ask about that later. He's a feature writer and multimedia producer for the Charleston Gazette as well in the capital city of West Virginia. He produces videos, slideshows, and feature articles for the paper, as well as often shooting his own photography for the articles, a kindred spirit of mine.
That's right, and also Doug is a first place award winner in the 2014 Green Eyeshade Journalism Awards for the 3-part Charleston Gazette series, Elizabeth and George. Congratulations, Doug.
And he says he spends way too much money here at Round 60 Music. Paul doesn't like that. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Doug Imbrogno.
Thank you very much.
Cold hard rain is falling from the sky. Cold hard rain is falling from the sky. A cold hard rain is falling. It's you I am calling. Bring sunshine when you come. Bring sunshine when you come. There's a cloud dark as coal above my head. A cloud dark as coal above my head. That cloud dark as coal, it's driving me into a hole. Bring sunshine when you come. Bring sunshine when you come. Daily news has left me feeling numb. The daily news has left me feeling numb. The daily news has numbed me. Politicians believe. Bring sunshine when you come. Bring sunshine when you come. A cold, mean rain is falling across our land. A cold, mean rain is falling across our land. A cold, mean rain is falling. It's you I am calling. Bring sunshine when you come. Bring sunshine when you come. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take bring sunshine when you come. Bring sunshine when you come. Thank you very much. I think that's a song for our times. Pardon the music stand, but I'm playing a couple of songs that I've not played out before. This is a song about getting lost and getting found again. If you have been lost, if you paid a cost, welcome to the club. Can I see your ticket stub? If you've been a jerk, if you've been a piece of work, so have I and her and him, Bobby, Sue and Tim and Jim. Oh, it's hard, I know. Damn, it's hard to grow. If you've had interventions, acted badly at conventions, tell it to a trusted friend. Prove yourself and make amends, and never ever do those things again. That's what priests and monks are for, taking long walks with Labradors, lifelong friends and counselors. Don't be strangers at their door. If you feel despair, if you need a prayer, no matter how long it's been dark, darkness ends with just one spark. Oh, the place you suffer so, that's exactly where you grow. You know. How many of you have been to a maypole ceremony? Anybody ever been to a maypole ceremony? They're pretty cool. I went to one about 20 years ago, and when Paul and Charlie asked if I would play tonight, I was looking through my old songs. You know, all performers have old songs. And I have never played this song live. But along the lines of Frank George, this is a really 18th century, 19th century kind of an event. If you've ever been to a maypole ceremony, there's a bouquet on the top of the maypole after it's all wrapped around and it's turned into all these threads, and people go around in circles, and you see the same person round and round, and then when it's all wrapped up and tight, then somebody shimmies up to the top and grabs the flower and brings it back down. So this is a little bit of a historical documentary. You bring some food, I'll bring some drink. We'll stay up all night, hey, what do you think? Heading into the Appalachian Hills, land of the sycamore and the whippoorwill, land of the sycamore and the whippoorwill. Casting the circle, open your mouth to the east, the west, the north, and the south. Come and dance to that banjo sound, braiding the maple as we come around, braiding the maple as we come around. Take my hand, come this way, no more strangers on the 1st of May. A couple of dozen times or more, I see your face, I want to see you some more. The pole is dressed like a been worth through like a ball of charm, and a pigtail too, like a ball of yarn, and a pigtail too. Shimmy the maypole up to the top, boy nabbed the blue, now he's hitting the ground. Light those bonfires, moon on the rise, flame reflected in everyone's eyes, flame reflected in everyone's eyes. Take my hand, walk this way, no more strangers on the first of May. Bring some food, I'll bring some drink, we'll stay up all night, hey, what do you think? Heading into the Appalachian Hills, the land of the sycamore and the whippoorwill, land of the sycamore and the whippoorwill, land of the sycamore and the whippoorwill, land of the sycamore and the whippoorwill.
Doug Imbrogno.
How about it?
Well, folks know you because of your work with the newspaper. You're a wonderful writer. And I'll never forget going to the Mexican restaurant one evening with my mom and seeing you at work. And I was like, oh, I can't go and talk to him. He's working. He's working. And I know that you've been playing around town and here and there, and you've gone to festivals, and it's wonderful to hear you live in person. Thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you.
So, do you have a new album out? Have you been recording?
Well, we have a new CD out with my quartet, the Brothers Sisters, an electric folk quartet we call ourselves. One of my bandmates is in the audience, Albert Frank Perrone, a great singer-songwriter. And yeah, we have that album here, and then I have a solo CD as well.
So, and then you can also get them on cdbaby.com, right?
Right. I did want to throw in that I'm here. For those of you who remember Joe Dobbs, when I first moved to Charleston, to Huntington as a reporter, this man was my boss back when, I joke, back when Brontosauruses roamed Fifth Avenue in Huntington. And I was wanted to learn to play guitar, so I went down to the old Fret and Fiddle in the West End of Huntington, and I bought a 1963 Martin Dreadnought D27 from Joe Dobbs himself. And 10 years later, I traded it for his son for this guitar. So this guitar has a direct link back to Joe.
It's got a great sound. It's wonderful.
What inspires you to write, Doug? I mean, I know we write every day, and you write, but writing songs is a little different than writing for the paper.
It is. I mean, I have a commute between Huntington and Charleston, and I read most of my songs on the commute. It's a lot of time to think, and writing songs is like telling stories, but compressing it. It's kind of like the difference between a grape and wine. You know, the wine is the song.
Good analogy. Now that I've just started doing that in April, going from Huntington to Charleston on that commute, so I'm going to have to get me a recorder and start writing myself.
See, when I travel from Cross Lanes to Huntington for practice, I just listen to public radio, but that's just me. Where are you playing next?
Well, we normally play, the Brother Sisters play pretty regularly at the Bluegrass Kitchen in Charleston, on the east end of Charleston. And we also sometimes play at Third Eye Cabaret, which is this really cool listening room cabaret every other Thursday above Little India Restaurant in Charleston.
Bluegrass Kitchen right there on East Washington, just a couple blocks down from the Capitol.
But let me delve into a little bit more of your musicianship. Did you teach yourself how to play? Were you bit by the bug when you were a little kid? Or
my mother bought a guitar, a little 3/4 size classical Spanish guitar for my brother for Christmas when I was in 4th grade. And she hid it underneath my brother David's bed in the basement. So the guitar, I knew it was down there. It appeared down there in like November. And so every day after school, I would come down and sneak the guitar out from underneath my brother's bed and bring it out, and it was this magical thing, you know. And that guitar is my brother still has that guitar. That's when I just fell in love with it.
It's a wonderful story. It's wonderful. Did other people in your family, did they play too?
My sisters were in a touring band for a while, and my one sister married the bass player in that band, and my other sister married the guitar player in that band.
It's a musical family. Doug, we ask this once in a while. If you could play with anybody else, who would you like to play with?
Probably Cat Stevens, Yusuf Islam. He was very integral to my playing. If you saw This Is Us the other night, there was a Cat Stevens song in the soundtrack, and it was just like, I know every single word on the T for the Tillerman album.
I've been listening to that lately over and over again myself. How about a couple more? Ladies and gentlemen, Doug Imbrogno.
All right, I'm going to take a challenge to myself here and do an a cappella song. And this one goes out. How many people know what a Zamboni is? All right, that's interesting. Yeah, Zamboni is the machine that comes out in the break in the hockey match and smooths the ice. This is probably the only song in the world with a Zamboni in it. This one goes out to my partner and my maid and Amazing Grace is in the audience tonight. Stars and planets pop into a sky so indigo. Over top a house where life can be simpatico. Crawling under cover with my lover, she's so warm. Oh, we like to nestle and huddle from the storm. She's your lover, baby, your partner and your mate. Oh, I'd like to thank you, I owe you, Mr. Fate. She's a beauty, a cutie, easy on the eyes. If living were a lottery, she would be the prize. Raising up a family, it's enough to drive you crazy. Someday you wanna chuck it and duck it and be lazy. Then you turn around, you see a smile upon her face. Realize you love those eyes and all the human race. In the game of matrimony, you can't be fake, you can't be phony. When things get rough and life gets tough, she smooths the ice, she's a love Zamboni. She's a girl from Philly, he's from Cincinnati. Now she is a mountain mama, he's a mountain daddy. First there came a boy with eyes like hers, two shiny chestnuts. Then Amazing Grace, these riches just as good as King Tut. She's your lover, baby, your partner and your mate. Oh, I'd like to thank you, I owe you, Mr. Fate. She's a beauty, a cutie, easy on the eyes. If living were a lottery, she would be the prize. If living were a lottery, she would be the prize. Yeah. So this is a Zen folk song inspired by a Zen story of a guy. All these Japanese Zen guys, they just left society and they just walked up into the mountains. And so they wrote poems. They would live in caves, would live in little places up, little nooks and nannies in the mountains, nooks and crannies in the mountains. And people would come visit them, or they would just sit way up on the mountains and they would look down into the valleys and they would kind of muse upon living lives where they have no further thought of fame. That's what the song is called. It was kind of a postcard to myself and to other people about what my friend Chet was talking about living in the moment.
No further thought of fame, no more to play the game. How to elevate your reputation and your name. No no more to feel the pain when no one pays you heed or sings your virtues in refrain. On the mountainside, the country stretches wide, sky to me confides the glory of the evening rain, glory of the evening rain, glory of the evening rain, glory of the evening rain. One day a useless law, fragrant as the Irish bog, this body I once loved evaporates just like the fog. No matter who you know, no matter where you go, to mountains, trees or shrine, my blood will soon reverse its flow. Your blood will soon reverse its flow. How long I've wandered now, how many lives do we plow? What matters anyhow? Across the stream the teachings roll, across the stream the teachings roll, across the stream the teachings roll.
Thank you very much. Thank you for this.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, Doug Imbrogno, thank you so much for being here and helping us raise awareness and raise some funds for the Huntington City Mission. Randy Yohe, our co-host tonight.
That was fantastic. You can see him at the Bluegrass Kitchen with his electric folk band, Brother Sister. And you can get his CDs at cdbaby.com. We might have a couple here. We just want to say thanks to everybody. There's a lot more people that are looking in on Facebook Live. Thanks so much for joining us electronically. But especially thank you folks for coming out tonight here and supporting live music here in the Huntington Barboursville area. That's what it's all about. We appreciate it so much. We'd like to thank both of our artists, Doug Imbrogno and Chet Lowther. Chet, you'll be able to see at the Empty Glass on Tuesday. Let's give them both a big hand. We appreciate them so much. And we appreciate your donations for the Huntington City Mission and all the good charities that we find. And once again, a big thanks to Paul Calicote from Route 60 Music for putting this all together. So, how about some more Flood?
Well, my mama raised 3 fine sons, Busterville and me. Buster was a black sheep of a little family. Mama tried to quit him over his rough and right ways. Finally had to have the judge give him 90 days. Ain't that he rambled, he rambled, he rambled all around, in and out of town. And then he rambled, Lord, he rambled till the butcher cut him down. Go ahead, Doug. His appetite was stout, and when he refused to pay the bill, landlord throwed him out. Get out! Picked up a brick to hit him with, and when he went to stop, well, the landlord hit him over a fence into a barrel of slop. And then he rambled, he rambled, he rambled all around, in and out of town. And then he rambled, Lord, he rambled. He rambled till the butcher cut him down. Get it, Sam? Dave Peyton's favorite verse. Well, he rambled into a gambling game, gambled on the green, and the gamblers there taught him a trick he had never seen.
Watch this.
Lost his golden jewelry, damn near lost his life, lost the car that carried him there, and somebody stole his wife. And then he rambled, rambled all around, in and out of town. And then he rambled, Lord, he rambled, rambled till the butcher cut him down. Get it, Paul? Sing it with us now. Then he rambled, rambled all around, in and out of town. And then he rambled, Lord, he rambled till the butcher cut him down. Thank you very much.
Well, folks, we've been rambling on all night. Yeah, I know. Giving it my good side. We've been rambling all night. Next month, we're going to do Lily's Place, which is a tremendous charity. We want to thank everybody that donated tonight for the Huntington City Mission. We want to thank all of our players right here. I'm talking about Paul and Sam and Randy and Michelle and Doug and Charlie, the 1937 Flood, ladies and gentlemen. Their house band right here. You can take a look at everything we've got at Route60music.com, because we're rolling on this, and we'll put the show back together. We'll post it as well on our Route 60 Saturday Night Facebook site.
So next month, December, the third Saturday of December, come on back for another Route 60 Saturday night right here, Route 60 in Barboursville, and we'll have two great musicians we're working on solidifying right now.
Really good stuff I'm talking about.
And a brand new charity to raise some great money for. So come on back the third Saturday in December. We'll see you back for more Route 60 Saturday night.
Thanks everybody for coming out tonight. Drive home safe, put that seatbelt on, have a happy Thanksgiving, and good night.